Obsidian made a huge announcement yesterday, and I want to talk about what it is and what it means for this world of personal knowledge management and productivity. So let's dive into it. If you've been living under a rock or you don't know what Obsidian is, first, I'm surprised you clicked on this video. But just in case you're curious, Obsidian is a deceptively simple program that lets you take notes and connect them to each other. From that humble beginning, incredible things are made possible, especially with a whole community full of plugins and all that kind of stuff. Obsidian is incredible. It's amazing. And it's free to use, especially for personal use, right? So if you're using it to organize your life and do that kind of thing, free forever, okay? Now, Obsidian is not open source, it's closed source, which means the folks that are working on it don't let you see all the code that goes into how in the world does this work. And in a lot of circles, closed source is no go. It's no good because, of course, they're going to be leveraging your information on the back end and all those kinds of surveillance capitalism kinds of things. And on top of that, Obsidian is paid for corporate work. So if you're using it for work and you've got more than two people using it for the same company, now you've got to pay for a license. And that's what the announcement was about 23 hours ago. I saw this and I'm just now being able to make the video, but I want to show you what this announcement is and just kind of pick it apart and help you understand kind of what they're really saying beyond the words on the screen. Okay, so let's check it out. Now it says Obsidian is now free for work, and starting today, the commercial license is optional and that anybody can use it for work for free. So basically, if you use Obsidian for your organization, your company, now you still can purchase a license to support the development. And that's actually an interesting detail because I was talking with my wife about this last night. I was like, huge news in my world. Obsidian's now free for companies. And then she goes, well, how are they going to make money? Right? So if they're not charging for what they're doing, and it looks like companies like Amazon and Google and giant corporations use Obsidian because it runs locally. They're not using somebody else's cloud servers and that kind of thing. So the fact that these massive organizations now no longer have to pay, where's all that money going to come from? And the small counterpoint that I had was, well, it's free for personal use for an individual to use it, and I paid the $25 to get the basically the badge that says I paid for this. And I get so much value out of using Obsidian. Like I said, to plan everything that I do, even this video, every book that I write, all of it goes through Obsidian, and it is so massively useful to me that I didn't feel right using it so much without saying, hey, thanks, here's a couple bucks. So the fact that they're now no longer requiring you to buy it doesn't mean that nobody else will. And skipping ahead, about 12 hours ago or so, the CEO of Obsidian, the person at the helm, said basically companies are now buying more licenses so that they can be featured in the kind of the map of here are all the companies that trust Obsidian. So now companies are paying for the privilege of being featured as a company that supports Obsidian. So in fact, they're getting more money by making it free, which is completely counterintuitive to most people. But in this bizarre online world, sometimes offering it for free is the best way to make money off of it, which is actually kind of cool. And then this next paragraph was the one that completely blew my mind, which was that nothing else is changing, no account required, no ads, no tracking, no strings attached. Okay, because usually when software is free, you are the product, and all of your data, all of your usage statistics, all the analytics are going to be leveraged and examined under a microscope, and then every last bit of that metadata will be sold to advertisers and partners and affiliates and all that kind of stuff. And that was my first thought was it's free. Okay, they're going to make money off of the analytics. Now you're going to have to sign up. You're going to have to create an account where all of your activity is tagged like cattle. Not according to this. They're saying, nope, no account, no nothing. Your data remains fully in your control because it's stored locally in plain text markdown files. And again, that's to me one of the biggest benefits of Obsidian is that it all lives on my computer. It's not having to call out to the servers to make sure that it can run, because I don't know if you know this, but if you download this video on YouTube, it's not actually downloaded to where you could watch it offline. You still have to be online so that YouTube can tell your computer, yeah, it's okay for you to play that file. And then there was a big announcement just recently that Amazon, all the Kindle books that you bought, no, you're actually just renting them, and we can change them. We can delete them from your device at any point that we want. So you don't actually own your data because the data is not on your device. It's on their servers. So that's why the fact that Obsidian is saying, we're not going to charge you. It's still operating locally on your machine without an account. We're still not going to get our grubby hands on your data. Just blew my mind, right? And that's incredible to me. And then they're saying, why make this change? And simplicity, that's incredible because the program is simple. And so many times you've seen it. You know exactly what I'm about to say, which is there are companies that have stated values, and then their actual values that they behave by are completely different. My first experience with that was my first job out of college was working at a magic shop at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida in about 2006 to 2008-ish. That was my full-time job. And I worked there, and the management said, oh, we're here to support you. We want you to make good money. And I was making great money selling magic tricks to tourists from all over the world. And I saw one of the other sales guys steal my sale. He asked the folks, I was in the back watching at the checkout register, and I was right there, like through the curtain kind of thing, right? And he asks the family, he's like, oh, who did you see perform all the tricks? And they said, oh, Jonathan. I was like, all right, made some money. And I watched, and he typed in his identifier number and rang up the sale. And he was like, oh, sorry, that was a mistake. I was like, yeah, right, sure it was, because I watched again, and it happened more than once. So I then told management, I was like, this dude's stealing money from me. And they said, well, we can't fire him because he's our best salesperson. Well, no kidding, he's your best salesperson. He's stealing sales from everybody else. And they didn't do anything, so I quit right there on the spot because their stated values were, we value you, we want to help you. But their real value was, no matter what way you do it, including stealing from our own employees, you're good as long as you make us more money. So I wasn't about that, so I was out. That's why to see that simplicity is really at the heart of not just the software, but how the business is run is really cool to see. And from the world of sales, I've seen that, yeah, um, from the world of sales, if the person who's trying to buy is confused about what they're buying, what they're paying, what they're getting, then they're not going to buy, even if it's the best solution for them. So simplicity really is the highest goal for any kind of business that you're trying to run. So here they're saying that the commercial license, it was confusing and it made it too confusing for folks to understand what they should be paying, and says that everyone should have the tools to think clearly and organize ideas effectively. And this is bringing them further in alignment with that mission, which I think is pretty darn cool. And here's where they're saying that folks in about 10,000 organizations use Obsidian, like folks in the government, cybersecurity, finance. One of my coaching clients, somebody that I'm helping set up their entire kind of operating system through Obsidian and online, build out their website, their email list, and just getting them set. His occupation, he's a therapist. So he's got HIPAA compliance and a whole bunch of stuff. And every note-taking app out there where he wants to take his notes require your information to live on their servers so that they can access it all the time. Everybody there can see it. Well, that's a violation of the doctor confidentiality. So every single popular option is off the table. But Obsidian, since it runs locally, is under consideration. So it's really cool to see that now he would be able to use that, because also there was something weird about paying for it and whatnot. So now that's not even an issue. So I'm really stoked to talk to him about this. And yeah, right. So yeah, here's Amazon and Google are organizations that rely on Obsidian, which is kind of cool. And then yeah, so the way that it used to be was that companies with 2 or more employees, you had to buy a commercial license to use Obsidian for work. And again, since I'm a one-man show, I don't share my Obsidian with anybody. That wasn't my thing. But also, I still bought the development license or whatever it's called for $25, something. Yeah. So yeah, organizations that support Obsidian are now featured on the Obsidian Enterprise page. So yeah, this is really cool. And now you can see all of the companies that support Obsidian. And let's see, oh, they're not following anybody, not even the CEO. There we go. They retweeted here. But here we go. Yeah, people asked if this would cause businesses to stop paying for the commercial license. Instead, we're seeing companies increase their contribution so they can be featured on the supporting organizations page. And that's really cool. I love it. That's why I wanted to make this video, get it out to you in a timely manner, so that if you are still on the fence about Obsidian and how it works and that kind of thing, strongly encourage you to check it out. And also, timely is I want to run a small group cohort, kind of about a 90-minute session to walk you through building your own PKM personal knowledge management system from the ground up. We'll spend 90 minutes doing it so that you know 90% of what you need to know, give you a week to play with it, and then we have another hour-long session where you ask questions about, hey, I was trying to do this, and here's what I ran into, so that you've got help in real time. So if that is interesting to you, then I strongly suggest that you go check it out at pkm.guide. Sign up for the email list. That's basically the +1 creator email list as well. And then let me know that you're interested, and we'll make a time where we can get the most folks in on that call as possible. And I'm planning on doing that for free, but the recording I want to offer as a workshop so that people can go through it themselves. That I will charge money for, at least $100, maybe $200 to help you get your own operating system to run your entire life. That's a steal. So if that sounds good to you and you want to get in early so you can get it for free, again, head over to pkm.guide. And in the meantime, I would suggest that you check out this playlist that has more than 15 hours worth of Obsidian training if you just want to go it alone. And I'll see you over there. Remember, if you can change your mind, you can change your life.